Just when you think Walford can't get any more chaotic, along come Nigel and Julie with three chickens. Yes, actual, living, clucking chickens in the middle of Albert Square. I mean, I grew up thinking the loudest thing you'd hear in the square was Phil Mitchell on a bad day, but apparently now it's poultry at 2 in the morning. Now, Nigel's return on its own would have been enough to get people talking, especially with everything he's been through lately. But it's the way this homecoming plays out that's got me thinking this could be one of the most unexpectedly funny and tense storylines we've had in ages. Because while Julie's buzzing to be back and settling Nigel in, Phil's patience is about to be tested more than ever. So let's set the scene. Phil's been trying to do right by his old mate, looking out for him, keeping things steady, but with Nigel's health struggles, routine is key. Only problem. Julie's idea of settling in involves completely turning the place upside down. New noise, new smells, new feathers in the hallway. It's not exactly the calm environment Phil had in mind. And honestly, you can just picture it Phil lying there at night, staring at the ceiling, listening to chickens squawking like they've got front row tickets to a fox invasion. I reckon even Ben will be sticking in earplugs before long. But here's the twist, this isn't just a bit of comedy filler. The strain it puts on Phil and Julie's relationship is going to hit hard. They've both got strong personalities, and when you throw in the fact they care about Nigel in completely different ways, it's only a matter of time before the sparks fly, and not the nice kind. Now, Act 2 is where the mood really shifts. Nigel's got an important assessment coming up, one of those moments that could shape what kind of care he'll need going forward. And you'd think Phil and Julie would put their differences aside for that. But nope, their bickering follows them right into the room. And it's heartbreaking because you can see Nigel getting more and more stressed. For me, this is classic EastEnders, the way they mix humor with something raw and real. One minute you're laughing at the idea of a cockerel wandering past the arches. The next you're sitting there feeling gutted for Nigel because the people he needs most can't agree on how to help him. And then comes Phil's outburst. From what I've heard, he doesn't just lose his temper, he cuts deep. The kind of words you can't take back. Julie's left reeling, and instead of backing down, she pushes for answers about Nigel's past in Walford, the stuff Phil probably hoped she'd never bring up. Now that's the bit that's got me wondering if we're about to see some old secrets dragged into the light. Then we get to the final act and the moment that could be pure comedy gold and a massive metaphor for the whole mess. Nigel, in his confusion, leaves the chicken coop open, and Julie's prize cockerel makes a break for it. I'm sorry, but the idea of a chicken casually crossing Bridge Street, maybe stopping to peck at a kebab wrapper, is the sort of thing I need to see on screen. But underneath the laughs, it's a bit of a wake-up call. If Nigel's getting to the point where even little things like that slip his mind, Phil and Julie are going to have to find a way to work together. Because right now, it's like they're both fighting for top spot in Nigel's life, and all it's doing is wearing him out. This could actually be the turning point. Either they bury the hatchet and figure out a proper plan, or things get even messier, and Nigel's the one who suffers for it. And with Phil involved, let's be honest, calm compromise isn't exactly his middle name. The big question is, can these two stop ruffling each other's feathers long enough to put Nigel first? Or will this be one of those EastEnders feuds that bubbles away for weeks until someone finally snaps? Personally, I'd love to see a moment where Phil maybe grudgingly admits that Julie's got a point about something. But knowing him, that might take a small miracle or another runaway chicken. It's storylines like this that remind me why I've watched EastEnders for years. You've got the humor, the heart, the drama, and that mix of big personalities all clashing in one small space. And honestly, the idea of Phil Mitchell stuck in a house with three noisy chickens, that's the kind of telly gold you just can't write, well, except they have. So, what do you reckon? Will Phil and Julie manage to see eye to eye, or are we about to see feathers flying for weeks? And more importantly, Will the cockerel ever make it back home, or will it set up camp in the cafe and become the square's new mascot? I'll be keeping a close eye on this one because something tells me the chicken storyline might just be the start of bigger drama for Nigel and maybe even some long buried secrets coming to light. If you've enjoyed this little spoiler chat, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next round of EastEnders gossip. Right, I'm off to check my back garden just in case that cockerels made it this far.